Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma sambuddhassa. Uttane nappamadena sanyamena damena cha Dipang kairatha medhavi yang ogo nabhikirati. Friends and children in the Dhamma, welcome for our Saturday regular Dhamma talk. We are continuing the Appamada Vagga, the diligence. Today, we narrate the story of Chula Pantaka. There were a banker in Rajagaha, where the first ever temple of Buddha was to establish. The temple of bamboo or bamboo tree monastery, Veluvana monastery. While residing there, Buddha uttered this stanza based on the story of Chula Pantaka. A banker had two grandsons. The elder one is called Mahapantaka. The younger one is Chula Pantaka. They are named Pantaka due to the reason that their birth took place on the road. Because this banker's daughter eloped with a man who is unsuitable for the family. A servant at home was this man, and this girl, the daughter of the family, ran away with him. When she was about to give a birth, she wanted to return to her parents, and on the way she gave birth to her elder son, and the husband brought her back to her home. And the second child also, when she was about to give birth, she was coming back to her parents' house. On the way, she gave birth to her second son also. And later, both these sons was brought to the banker's home, and the banker, the rich man, was taking care of these two grandsons. He was a devout follower of the Buddha. So while the Buddha is in the city, in the town, he used to visit the Buddha to listen to his sermons, Dhamma talks. And the elders, Mahapantaka, used to follow his grandfather to listen to the Buddha. After some time, he realized that his path is no more worldly, material, mundane anymore. He wanted to become a monk. He got the permission from his grandfather and he got ordained. In no time, his meditation was fruitful. He attained to the supreme liberation, he attained to the arahanthood. After this attainment of the arahanthood, he decided that he wanted to give this blessing to his younger brother also. So with the permission from his grandfather, he ordained his younger brother Cholapantaka. Unfortunately, this Cholapantaka had a problem that he had a very poor memory. His memory was so poor, he couldn't even memorize one stanza with 4 sentences, 4 lines. This Cholapantaka couldn't remember. His memory was so poor. Of course, memory is required for education, for the knowledge to gather. You cannot gather knowledge without a memory. But memory has nothing to do with the wisdom. Wisdom and knowledge is 2 different things. But people often misunderstand the knowledge as wisdom. You can be knowledgeable, but at the same time you can be utterly delusional, ignorant, silly. So this young man had this problem. He cannot remember, he cannot memorize any of the Dhamma he learns. He couldn't even remember one stanza. So he was not equipped with an ability as a young monk to serve the dispensation of the Buddha and to progress on the path of the Dhamma. That's what all the monks thought. That's what even his elder brother thought. He thought, my younger brother is not suitable for this monastic life. For 4 months he was working hard, but still he couldn't remember a single stanza. So he thought, my younger brother must be disrobed and must go back to home. And he told Cholapantaka, this monk's life is not suitable for you. You better go back. You better disrobe and go back to the worldly life, and you do meritorious deeds, and in the future life you can be ordained and attain to enlightenment. Being so reluctant, Cholapantaka did not want to go back home. So he was somehow remaining in the temple. Now there was a rule that a monk must be there assigned as someone who accepts the invitations of the devotees. When the devotees invite a certain group of monks to their homes to offer dana, for blessing maybe, for a Dhamma talk maybe, this assigned monk is the one who names those other monks to go certain devotees' houses to perform those religious activities. And at that time, Mahapantaka was the one who was assigned to do that duty. He was the one to accept the invitations and to name the group of monks to go to certain religious activities. Once the Jivaka was the Buddha's doctor as well as the doctor for the king. This Jivaka wanted to offer a dana to entire community including the Buddha. So he came to Mahapantaka and he made the invitation. Mahapantaka said, Jivaka, There is a monk called Chulapantaka here who is not suitable for this monastic life because he is so lazy he cannot remember anything. Other than this Chulapantaka, I will accept the dana to all the community of Sangha and the Buddha. Chulapantaka got to know about this, that he was excluded for the dana by his own brother. He was so depressed. He was so sad. And then he decided it is time that for him to renunciate from the temple to the house, to leave the temple and go back to the worldly life. So early morning, at dawn, he was leaving the temple. And the Buddha had this habit in the morning that he wake up, he sit down and survey the world. Survey the world looking for an individual to help. What kind of help that the Buddha give to the people? What kind of help that you can expect from the Buddha? To whom that the Buddha gives his help, his assistance? Not the poor. He cannot assist anyone with the money, with the power, with wealth. He is not a medical doctor to perform medical treatments. So what kind of help that the Buddha is willing to give, and to whom he is willing to give? Buddha surveys the world looking for the individual who has the ability, who has the capability, who has the seeds of enlightenment within, but they haven't started growing yet. Unless Buddha helps them, those individuals with the seeds of enlightenment within would just live and die without having the opportunity to be enlightened. So those people with the affinity for the enlightenment, with the potentiality enlightenment, those potential enlightened ones, enlightened beings, those potential arahants are the individuals that the Buddha is looking for to help. And when he is serving the world, that to whom that I can be a service of today, he found his own student, disciple, Chulapantaka. He is capable of attaining enlightenment, but he doesn't know. His brother doesn't know. The rest of the community doesn't know. Since they are unaware of this ability of this young man for enlightenment, he is leaving the temple. He is going to lose the opportunity for enlightenment. And Buddha deliberately went to the front of the temple, and he was pacing up and down in front of the temple at the gate. Chulapantaka was leaving, and he came face to face the Buddha. When he saw the Buddha, he went to him and paid his respect. Buddha asked him, "Where are you going?" Chulapantaka just narrated the story. Buddha said, "You did not get ordained for your brother. On behalf of me, you got ordained. Your monkhood belongs to me. You are a monastic under me, not your brother. So come back, come back." don't leave the temple. So he brought back this young monk, Chulapantaka, to his own chamber and made him sit down in the veranda of his chamber and gave him a pure piece of cloth, pure white piece of cloth. And he asked him to place it on the right palm and to rub it with the left palm, left hand. You rub this piece of white cloth, repeating Rajo Haranam, meaning taking off impurity, taking off impurity. Rajo Haranam. Rajas or Raja here indicates literally dust, but implied meaning is the dust of cankers, vice, defilements. That is the implied meaning for rajas. So this is the activity, this is the meditation for this young monk, Chulapantaka. Keeping a piece of cloth, piece of pure cloth on the right palm, right hand, to rub it with the left hand, repeating, may the dust be removed, may the dust be removed, or removing the dust, defilements, impurity. Having asked him to do this, Buddha with the other monks went to the dana, which is going to give in the Jivaka's home. And this Chulapantaka is continuing. Sun is rising, his hands are getting sweaty, and steadily he is witnessing that the piece of cloth he is rubbing is getting soiled. That purity is no more. Then he starts contemplating what is happening. Before, this cloth was such a pure, bright, clean piece of cloth. Due to this rubbing, it has changed into a soiled one, a dirty one. Now he is contemplating on the anicca, the changing nature of the phenomena. While he is contemplating this aniccata, impermanence, Buddha was encompassing his mind with his mind. He understood the thought pattern of Chulapantaka, and he sent a radiating light in front of the Chulapantaka, and he admonished Chulapantaka that there are dust within you. There are defilements, impurities within you. You better focus on getting rid of these impurities. He just directed Chulapantaka to observe within, to go within his own being, and to get rid of the impurities. Chulapantaka started meditating, and it was so fast. This young man who couldn't memorize even a single stanza, got enlightened, became an arahant, a student Buddha with all the psychic powers in an instant, in a very short while. And he became an arahant with the complete psychic powers. He could do any psychic exhibition with such a potentiality, with such a with such a power and with efficiencies. At the dana, Buddha was serving with water before he takes his food. When he was served food, Buddha just closed his opening of his arms ball. Jivak asked him the reason. Why are you closing your arms ball? Buddha said, did all the monks came for this dana? Is there any monk remaining in the temple? If somebody is in the temple, we cannot take food here. We have to wait for him. We have to invite him, take him here. The monks said no. Everybody came in because they thought Chulapantaka is gone. Then the Buddha said, no, there is one monk. You better send someone to the temple, to Velavana monastery, to bring that monk. So a messenger went there. When he went there, he was baffled. Thousands of monks in the temple, identical. All the monks are looking just alike, just the same. But they are doing different activities. This messenger was so baffled, he just rushed back and said, it is not just one monk in the temple, but thousands of monks are there. What am I to do? Then the Buddha said, go and ask. Go and say, the Buddha is asking for the monk called Chulapantaka. So he went to the temple for the second time, and he said that the Buddha is looking for this monk called Chulapantaka. When he said that, all the monks start saying, I am Chulapantaka, I am Chulapantaka. So again he had to go back to the home and narrate this incident. Then the Buddha said, okay, you do that again. And when you find the first monk who said, I am Chulapantaka, touch his robe, grab his robe. Then he went to the temple and did that. When he grabbed the robe of the monk who said, I am Chulapantaka, the other monks just vanished. Then Chulapantaka accompanied this messenger to the Jivaka's house. After the dana, Buddha asked this Chulapantaka to teach Dhamma like a lion, like a young lion, with so much of confidence, with so much of authority. Chulapantaka uttered this Dhamma. And all the monks in the dana, they were absolutely not ready for this. It was a total shock for them. What is happening? This young monk couldn't even memorize a single Dhamma, a simple Dhamma. Now he is uttering deep Dhamma, teaching deep Dhamma in front of this entire crowd. What is happening? How did this happen? So, in the evening, in the Dhamma hall, they asked this question from Lord Buddha. Lord Buddha explained to them why he got this problem, why he cannot memorize. Because in one of the past lifetimes, being jealous of one of the classmates, one of the fellow students, Chulapantaka was a student in that life, and he was so jealous of another student who was clever. And being driven out of this jealousy, this Chulapantaka in that lifetime harmed this clever student, disturbed his education. And because of this sin, because of this unwholesome deed, he had this problem, he had this inability to memorize. You disturbed others' education, and you think you can be educated? You can be clever by making troubles for others? It won't happen. Jealousy brings us nowhere. Jealousy is just make us dirty, stinking, make us ugly. Jealousy is the worst defilement that can arise within us and dominate within us, make us ugly, make our lives extremely rotten. Yeah. And out of jealousy, people can do anything. Out of jealousy, people can harm others, disturb others, destroy others. Chulapantaka, in that lifetime, he did that. He destroyed his fellow students, his classmates' life out of jealousy. And he had to pay back lifetime after lifetime. Even in the lifetime that he is to be enlightened, he had to suffer because of that evil karma, evil action. Though he had to suffer this evil karma, his perfections won't go no waste. He had fulfilled his spiritual development, being ready for an enlightened Buddha. He had developed this spirituality at the same time. Because of the development of the spirituality, in spite of that unwholesome deed, he could be enlightened. That's what Buddha saw early morning when he surveys the world, looking for an individual who is ready for the Buddha. Buddha saw that Chulapantaka is ready for him. These obstacles are there due to that unwholesome deed, but these obstacles cannot prevent his enlightenment. He was so fast to attain enlightenment. Buddha did not have to work hard with him. He just directed to go within and get rid of the defilements. He was so ready. He did not have strong defilements to get rid of. Chulapantaka became one of the most powerful arahants in the Buddha's dispensation. And based on this incident, Buddha uttered this stanza. Uttanena appamadena sanyamena dhammena cha dipang kairatame dhavi yangogo nabhikirate. The meaning is, by standing alert, by awareness, by restraint, and by control too, the intelligent one could make an island that a flood does not overwhelm. Now, here, Deepang Kairata Medhavi, the intelligent one, make an island. Yangogo Nabhikirati, a flood does not overwhelm. Now, here this simile is that when the ground below, below, is inundated by the flood, but this intelligent one understanding that if I am to be there in this ground which is laying low, I am to be washed away by the floods. So I must make a piece of land which is higher and strong, so that when the flood comes, my land where I am standing won't be harmed. I am safe. Deeper. In Pali, two meanings are applied for deeper. One is for the lamp. The other is for the island. So, Buddha compares a certain spiritual development to creating a piece of land which is not drowned during the floods. Now, what is this land? This land is to be built with uttana, that is alertness, the ability that one can continue what one started. For example, here in this case, the meditation. If you don't have this uttana sampada, the ability to continue what you have started, you cannot continue the meditation. I have seen many people, they start meditating, but hardly someone continue. On the way they stop. In the middle they stop. Even they stop after some time they begin. They begin but little bit practice, then they think this is not for me. They stop and go away. I have seen many people come and meditate in front of the Buddha image here, but after some time they come there to practice on their own. No teacher, no guide. Just after some time, once they start feeling some ache, some pain in their knees, on their backs, they just get up and go away. They do not continue. Their meditation won't be successful. So uttana sampada, the ability to continue, ability to being alert, to be alert, to continue. Then the appamada, that is being aware, being mindful. Being mindful and continuing that mindfulness. Sanyamena, being restrained from the engagements on the misdeeds. If you are to engage in the misdeeds and meditate at the same time, it won't work. It doesn't work like that. Either you have to be separated from the misdeeds and then practice. Misdeeds and practice doesn't go together. So you must have the restraining ability in yourself so that you can continue your practice. So restraining, sanyamena, and then the control, dhammena, controlling the senses, controlling the eye, ear, nose, tongue, the body. Yeah, these senses must be controlled and maintained in a moderate passion. When you maintain these senses in a controlled, in a moderate passion, when you know that you have to be restrained yourself from the obstacles for your meditation. When you are continuously practicing, when you are vigilant, when you are alert of your practice, when you are not negligent of your practice, and when you maintain your awareness constantly, what happens? Sooner or later, you are bound to find the safety. You are bound to find the secured island that you can be standing without fear. This secured island is the enlightenment. And in this island, Buddha says, you don't have to be worried about 4 types of floods. That is karma, ogre, the first one. The flood of sensual desire. The desires arise within us and it looks like a flood. Why it is compared to a flood? Because we surrendered to the desires. We are inundated by them. We are washed away by them. We are controlled by them. We are drowned in them. That is why they are floods. Sensual desire. Then the ditti, the views. When you have views, when those views are strong within you, they also drown you in them. Then the desire for higher status, bhavaraga, bhavatanha, higher status, being greater and greater, being higher and higher. These desires drown us. Then the last one is ignorance, delusion, drown us. These 4 floods can destroy us, can destroy anyone who is stuck in the worldly affairs. Buddha says, when you are out of this, out of the reach for these floods, you are safe, you are secure. So to be secured, to be safe, you have to be constantly mindful, constantly alert, and you have to continue your practice. You have to restrain yourself from the obstacles of your practice, and you have to control your senses. When you are equipped with these abilities, that your ability to continue your practice, ability to be mindful all the time, ability to separate the obstacles for meditation from your practice, restrain yourself, and ability to control your sense doors. When you develop in that passion, in that manner, you are naturally building your safety. You are naturally building your island where you can be safe. And this island is never inundated, never flooded by the 4 floods, which is sensual desire, wrong views, desire for higher status, and the ignorance. These 4 floods cannot inundate an island made out of constant practice, awareness, restraining, and control. That's what Buddha says here. Uttanena appamadena sanyamena damena cha Deepang kairatame dhavi yangogo nabhikirate. By standing alert, by awareness, by restraint and control too, the intelligent one could make an island that a flood does not overwhelm. This is a Dhamma eternal, esa Dhammo sanantano. Let's share all the merits that we generate together with our departed ones, together with our devas. May all the devas be rejoiced with our merits. May their protection, may their guidance be with you all. May all our departed ones be rejoiced with our merits. May their present existence be free from misery by the power of these merits. May the devas, may our departed ones, and may all of us be enabled to attain the final liberation. May these merits pave the way for our final liberation, Nibbana. With these aspirations, let's share our merits together with devas and the departed ones. Akasatta cha bummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu loka sasanam. Akasatta cha bummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu desanam. Akasatta cha bummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu mam paranti. Idang me ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idang me ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idang me ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Blessings to you all. Dukkha roga bhaya vera soka sabbe upaddava anekantaraya api vinassantu ca tejasa. Jaya siddhi dhanang labhang sattva bhagyam sukham balang siriyayucca vanno ca bhogam buddhi ca yasava sattavassa ca ayucca jiva siddhi bhavantu te. Ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti me vacha ato nibbana sampatti iminate samijjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Good night, everybody.